we shall now go on to our next speaker, Dr. Bansal, who's we all know is a medical director of Bansal Eye and Retina Center now, after having his long stints at PGI and also the Government Medical College of Chandigarh, where he's had years of experience. And I'm sure he has a wonderful learning tip for us. So let's get glued on to his video next. On to you, Dr. Bansal. Can you share your video? I think you should unmute yourself also.
It's okay?
Yes, right.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chitra, for the introduction, and also giving me the opportunity for this ARC session. So I'll be discussing one patient. This was a patient of diabetes. Like if we see in a diabetic, we can see different types of cataract. So this patient was a 45-year-old male. He was suffering from insulin-dependent diabetes over the last 20 years. He presented just within 1 day after sudden diminution of vision in the eye. And he had a similar attack about 6 months back. So visual acuity in this eye was just counting finger. He had a very intumescent cataract, so which I'm going to show how I manage this patient. Now you can see the color of the cataract in this patient, very intumescent and swollen cataract. So I was able to manage good rhexis in this patient. There was no liquefied cortex in this patient. So did about 5.5 to 5.75 millimeter rhexis. Just want to present the difficulty. See, this patient, despite very good hydrodissection, there is no movement of the nucleus or the epinucleus in this patient. So I did thorough hydrodissection in this patient. You can see here from almost all the quadrants, but however, there was no movement of the nucleus or the epinucleus. Now, another problem which I was facing in this patient was, you can see here, there was no nucleus in this patient. However, this epicortex and the cortex is so sticky in this patient that I tried removing this with the epinucleus settings also, but it did not come out. So ultimately I had to go in for the irrigation aspiration, and you can see how difficult it is. So I had to, every time I had to dig into the epinucleus and the cortex to move into the center and then only remove the cortex. See, now you can see how sticky is this. Not possible. It's not being pulled into the aspiration port. Unless I dislodge this from the area, and then only it comes into the center, and then only I'm able to aspirate the cortex. See, again, the last part of the cortex even is not coming out. So I took a risk even with the Sinskey hook that I had to pull out the remaining cortex and then only aspirate. So see this, even the epinucleus plate is quite thick here. Very difficult aspiration. So even the last part of the cortex is very, very sticky. So lens implantation was not difficult in this patient. So ultimately, we had about 618 vision in this eye, and there was a moderate NPDR in the eye. So just want to highlight that how difficult sometimes it can become to aspirate the epinucleus and the cortical matter in a patient who is a diabetic, and especially if it is an insulin-dependent diabetes and presents with a sudden onset of cataract. So just want to know how we could have done in a better way, because this patient took about 40 minutes for me just to aspirate the cortex and the epinucleus.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bansal. These are kind of situations which I'm sure all of us have faced at different points of time. But my thoughts are about this. If it is this kind of a soft cataract, I would definitely do multi-quadrant hydro, so that is one step, so that it takes care of those very dense corticocapsular adhesions. I would even think of doing a central trench and ensuring that I get my nucleus fragment separated in the center, and then the approach gets better. And I would even try a viscodissection. I wouldn't find myself very comfortable doing this for so long, because there is some amount of stress to the zonules which happen. It's not that I haven't come across these cases and I've done them similarly, but on hindsight, I feel that probably these could have been also the alternatives. I do want the thoughts of all the expert panel on this.
I did multi-quadrant right in the beginning, and still it was not getting free from the capsule. And as far the nucleus is concerned, there was no nucleus at all. I first did use the phaco probe to see whether any nucleus is there. So ultimately, there was no nucleus at all. It was all kind of a mixed up, you can say, epinucleus, jumbled up whole of the thing. So I had to just dig into the whole of the material to just push it out and then only aspirate.
Yes, yes.
I think you're right, Dr. Bansal.
Dr. Bansal?
Yeah.
How old was the patient, Dr. Bansal?
45.
Okay, even though it was a soft cataract at 45,
Yeah,
there'll definitely be a formed nucleus. And I believe that the hydrodissection in diabetic cataracts is no different from other cataracts. If only we use the classical Howard Fine way of cortical cleaving hydrodissection, where you tent up the rim of the capsular rhexis margin. You did a beautiful rhexis and then do a multi-quadrant, as Chitra suggested. Most often you would mobilize the nucleus. And even in these soft cataracts, and even both for the removal of the lens material as well as the cortical material, I found that you use mostly the irrigation aspiration cannulas, and that's why the time taken. We need to remember that the bore of an aspiration cannula is just about 0.3 millimeters, 0.25 to 0.3 millimeters. While when we use a conventional phaco probe, it varies anything from 0.65 to 0.9 millimeters. So obviously, except in very extreme pediatric cataracts, I end up using, though I may not be using any power, I would use a phaco needle and do a phaco aspiration, both of the lens material as well as the cortical material and the epinucleus. And obviously, in these softer cataracts, it is possible to do with the irrigation aspiration, but then, as you said, it will take a very long time. When you use a phaco needle with a larger bore needle with adequate amount of the right kind of hydrodissection, most often this flows out easily.
I tried that first in the beginning by using the phaco probe, but still it was not coming. It was not getting sucked into the probe at all.
I think in that case, it might be because the lens was a one single mass, and as was suggested,
Yeah, it was a single mass thing. Yes.
central groove, and then do something like a phaco flip. Get a large nucleus and just prolapse out the entire material into the anterior chamber without using any power. Then you can just set the material up.
Yeah.
Of course, there's different ways of skinning the cat, and what you showed was one of the ways.
Dr. Chitra, can I chip in? Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Chitra, ma'am, can I chip in with a pearl? So I wanted to suggest that everything that you've said and Ramamurthy sir said is what you should try. What I do typically with these very resistant, sticky kind of cortex or a thick epinuclear shell which is not ready to come out, I go from the main port with my infusion, and I like to call it as a jet wash. And I just depress the posterior lip and let the fluid flow go into all the fornices of the capsular bag in the equator. And almost everything magically gets mobilized, and it just goes out. It's like hydro expression, and you are left with 90% of the stuff is all gone within seconds. And that only leaves few of the flimsy, attachments of small pearls of, like small cortical material, which is also loose and can be easily peeled off with the cortex, with the aspiration. So that's how I would do it, because, just increase the fluid flow. Go from the main port with your irrigation, depress the posterior lip, let the fluid flow from the main port freely. Because if you do it from the side port, it won't work. Even if you try your best with the bimanual, it won't work sometimes. And it really helps me do these cases.
Oh, that's a good tip. I haven't tried it. We shall do it next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see video from Gaurav? How you do that?
I have a very good video on this. Maybe next time I'll show this. I'm not in the, I don't have access to my videos right now. I'll try to see if I can present towards the end. Yeah.
So, Chitra, I think Dr. Bansal showed sometimes you can get into tricky situations like this. But I think all the phaco machines now do have a epinucleus mode also, which can be used with the phaco probe, and you can take out the epinucleus in the epinucleus mode, and the sticky nucleocortical complex will be easily dealt with it. But I think the most important thing, like Dr. Ramamurthy also said, is hydro. So I think although Dr. Bansal did show that it was done to the satisfaction, but still the lens did not move. So I think the critical thing is the lens has to move. Otherwise, things can get a little more prolonged than desired.
You can go back and do a hydro again after some time, even when you're doing it, and then try visco dissection. Those are different ways, and wonderful discussion.